Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, it's our SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And what can we talk about tonight? Well, it's the usual. USA financial reckoning is happening. You will not be caught off guard, ladies and gentlemen, because you know economic power is shrinking here in America. That's why you won't be off guard. And welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest update. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like we had a little communication. As you can see, I'm in a different location at this moment in Las Vegas. So, of course, we're going to be live from anywhere on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but as you know, sometimes things happen, but we're here and you're here. First things first, make sure you share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information, who doesn't know that they need information. Lots of things are happening right underneath your feet, right in front of your eyes, that's going to affect you for the rest of your life if you are not prepared and put yourself in position to win later. Let's start with some of that later. All right. Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrency. I'm not saying buy a lot, but you do need a little. Both have dropped significantly. Well, if you call from 125,000 down to 114,000 significant, you have plenty of buying opportunities, as we discussed on Monday and last Friday, that you would have opportunities because, as EV Place put it, he said it drops all the time, 40 to 50%. He is absolutely correct about that. You have to be prepared. So far, it's dropped about 10, 9%. Will it drop further? I don't know. But the odds are in our favor. So you can be prepared if you know what's about to happen. So is 114 a good price? Will 112 be a good price? Will 105? Potentially. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, but I do know this, and you know this. Lots of people are losing jobs. Lots of people are living paycheck to paycheck, 80% of Americans. Lots of people are in turmoil due to explosions of all financial debt instruments, insurance prices, your electric bills, your gas bills, everything, your property tax bills, your insurance bills, your everything is going up beyond a simple, reasonable 2%, 3%, or 5%. We're talking about 50%, 100%. This is not maintainable, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see who's going to be in the house tonight. Let's see who's up first. EV Place, Speak of the Devil. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everyone. Have you taken a little profit or are you holding? No, I told you guys, any dips, I told you, 20%, well, actually, it ended up being 15% to 20%. Any drops, auto sale. There's no reason to lose anything, profit wise, that is. So, yes, some ejection points did happen today, quite frankly. And you guys already know my NVIDIA ejection button hit. And oh my, I didn't mind buying back in at 173. Think it was in that number range, 173. It didn't matter to me because that was all profits. So I bought back in at a higher price, but it doesn't really matter because that's all profit in the first place. But I told you guys about that 10, 15, 20%. Why let it drop? Just hit auto. In fact, I even ejected on a YMAG, and I always buy back in because I get to buy more shares for the same amount of money. So I don't mind. But yes, a few ejections happened because I was like, I'm not going to, why am I going to go below my profit points? I might as well make money and receive dividends or make money. And then because I still believe in NVIDIA, but I was like, when I told you guys, when it was at 177 is where I had my eject button. 15, it was on YMAG. I think it's YMAG. I had 15, 30, 40, something like that. $15.30, $13.40, something like that. Ejection button because my dollar cost average is under 15. So I said, I'm not going to lose any profits just because the stock market is acting stupid. So that's what's been happening, ladies and gentlemen, running beneath your feet. So hopefully that helps you, EV Place. I'm doing exactly what I said. I was like, I don't see any reason. I'm taking profits. There's no way I'm going to go down with, because at any moment we could have dips because of the situation. Simply, let's put things in real perspective. We have a war in Ukraine going on. Our allies are upset and worried, rightfully so, because it's in their backyard. United States invites the president of Russia to come, and they treat him like I don't know what this red carpet and flyover and all this stuff is. And then nothing is done. Remember, and so that's a problem. And now there's so much uncertainty around the globe. Our bond market dropped, and I believed it was going to stay around this 4.3. So give or take zero point 0.5 in either direction, 4.25 up to 4.35. And the Federal Reserve is looking at numbers that make no sense. They can't reduce the interest rate. In reality, they're supposed to have risen or raised it. Actually, they should have raised the interest rate last month. Now they find out some other economic news is not looking good. So again, USA financial reckoning is coming. So don't worry though. The Federal Reserve should do what they normally do. They're just trying to figure out, do they want a hyperinflation or semi hyperinflation, I should say. But they just want to find out, do we really want to increase inflation? Because if they do reduce an interest rate, their federal funds rate, that is going to cause a problem because that's going to add on top of whatever this month's PMI ends up being, PPI ends up being this month. So therefore, that's what they use as their metric. And 3.3% is not their that's not good because they're trying to get down to 2%, closer to 2. 3.3 is outrageous. So they should reduce the interest rate, but unfortunately, I mean, somebody better come up with some big kahunas because otherwise it's going to be a meltdown of epic proportions. But again, we know there's going to be volatility, which means if you're doing option trading, you're loving life. Speaking of option tradings, DIM Pals is doing option trading. When you have the needle moving up and down just a few points, pips here and there, you can make money up and down. It's incredible. So anyhow, DIM Pals, very happy for you because I know you're loving life because you're doing option trading with yield max ETFs. and they're bouncing and then rising back up a few pips, going down. I mean, I wish I knew how to trade it because it's incredible. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, SSN family. Good evening to you. I'm holding and buying more. There you go. There's two ways you can do it. Dollar cost average. See, my problem is I told you guys, if it's below your 52-week low, then you should be buying more. We've always said that. There's no reason your dollar cost average can come down if it's dropping. I, on the other hand, I already had 52-week lows and it rose. So there's no reason for me to just let it sit there and go back down to where we started 4, 5, 6, 8 months ago or a year ago. That makes no sense. So you might as well just take the profit and be happy. You know, it's very simple. Buying more, I like buying more. All right, EV Place. I've locked my 100% profit of 50% of ETH, 100% profit on 1/3 of my XRP. There you go, EV Place. Great job, man. This is what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. You have investors in the house. If you have any comments to make, please put them down below because iron sharpens iron, as they say. And you're in the right house because people have different strategies. Not everybody invests the same way. So it's very nice when a person like EV Plays, myself, and others discuss what type of trading they're doing or what they're doing, because that may give you an idea on how you want to do it, because there's several different ways to make money with the stock market. All right. So again, close to 1 million ETH is waiting in queue for unstaking. Put your seatbelts on. Deadline 12 to 14. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Price is going to be, again, ladies and gentlemen, this is all predictable. He just gave you keys to a castle. This would indicate ETH should be coming down even more. So another chance to take your investment strategy. Change it, maybe, still do it. But either way, you know the numbers, the odds are in your favor. Eric, serious question. Have you ever heard of the 18-year cycle? The last one ends in 2008. This one is ending 2026. I've never heard of an 18-year cycle. It's matching your countdown clock pretty much. I never heard of an 18-year cycle. Now you know I got to go look it up, right? I've never heard of that. That's incredible. But I'm happy that it matches up. Isn't that funny? Because we are talking about December 2026, ladies and gentlemen, 1 year, 4 months. And as soon as another 12 days comes, no, 11 days comes, we'll be down to 1 year, 3 months. That's all you have is to get your passive income in place, your debt reduced, your credit score to 775. That's your target. You need your debt reduced. And if you need your debt reduced, do it the new way or the rich guy way. Debt restructuring with your personal debt. Who do you talk to? Don't worry. I'm going to put it in the chat room. Tracy at resolvefinance.com. Let her know you came from SSN Nation. Here's the beauty. Let's just start it off. You don't have to do any bankruptcy. How about that? That's off the table. No bankruptcy. All right. What you do get is just what the big boys do. Debt restructuring. I can't pay it, bank. How about I still have 5 years or 10 years left on the loan? How about you restructure it and maybe extend it? And I'll pay that some points or something. They say, okay. Or you do in this case what Resolve Finance does. You say, I need to restructure my personal debt. They talk to your debt holders and say, hey, whatever deal, can we make them have the same payment, but maybe reduce the interest or the IOU of some sort? And you can pay in 1 or 2 years, ladies and gentlemen. That would put you in timeline for, on the other side, your credit score would be back great. But in those 2 years or 1.5 years or 1 year, you cannot do credit, so to speak. They're restructuring. That's the whole purpose. You making your monthly payments, at a lower rate. You get good credit on the other end. They say good, you satisfied, and there's no bankruptcy, there's no debt collectors, there's nothing. Now you're on the other side being able to be good. So the link is in the chat room, Tracy at resolvefinance.com. Let her know you're from the SSN Nation. That's the key phrase. Or you can say Familia said, and say Eric Familia said, call you. I need some help with my debt. And he also said, I need my credit score to be at 775 by December 31st, 2026. Now we got to go find out about this 18-year cycle, though. I can't believe I'm doing things based on stuff I've never even heard of. Somebody else told me about my, when I do Airbnb, or it doesn't matter, short-term rentals, and you do investments, like you buy whatever, condos, villas, townhomes, or apartment buildings, whatever. But basically, it's just single units. Really, it's not apartments, but single units. And I tell everybody here, it doesn't make sense if I can't get 0.1%, whatever I buy it at. So if I buy something for 150,000, then I need $150 per night better be the rental number. If the rental number in that neighborhood is not $150 per night for short-term rentals, then there's nothing to talk about. Because if you do $100 per night, in order to stay above 10%, you're going to need like 80%. Well, I shouldn't say 80, but 70 to 80% occupancy rate. And if you don't hit the 70 or 80% occupancy rate, and you fall under the 0.1%, like $100 per night instead, and then all of a sudden you're only doing 40% occupancy rate, you're going to be in single digits after you pay your maintenance, expenses, and everything. I'm talking about your NOI, net operating income. That's after your expenses, your revenue minus expenses equals net operating income. If that is, and that is not ending up being 10% of your purchase price, so in other words, $15,000, then why are we messing around? Because the bottom line is rental prices go up. So you'll eventually, it'll increase just by simply next year it's going to cost more, right? So by default, you're going to win that race. You'll be at 12 or 11, then 15, or it'll raise. But the point is, if you're doing 6, 7%, 4, 5%, that's ridiculous. You could buy a treasury bond for 4.3, 4.295 for 10 years if you want and get that, but then you're not beating inflation. Because remember, inflation is always 10%. It's double digits or more. Don't believe the Federal Reserve. That's one of the problems. Fake numbers get people in trouble. So once you realize it's really double digits, so that's why I don't do anything below 0.1. All right. So we're going to get to this 18-year clock because I never heard of this. We know there's hold on, let me make sure I didn't skip any. We know that there are recessions every 7 to 11 years, roughly. Since we haven't had a recession because of the fake, you know, the fake way that they're able to manipulate, the Federal Reserve is able to manipulate the economy. It's been 2008. We're almost at 20 years. As he said, 18 years now, I guess. 18 years would be next year. That is crazy. If you look at a calendar and go back, there is not really an 18-year cycle. Usually you'll see something 8 to 11, 7 to 11. Never this long. Never. So 18-year cycle is very, very interesting. But go hook up with Tracy at Resolve Finance. I put it in the chat room. Eventually, I'll have it down below in the description box. I'm sorry I came on late tonight, but it's because I was trying to set up some things, and then I realized I know who's going to ask me for something. Brian P., if he shows up, going to ask me about emails. I just found out I can't log into my emails right now. That's why I was having a problem. They changed the login. So that night when I was having an issue and I wasn't getting sent confirmation stuff to allow me to log in, I was like, is this for real right now? I was like, I can't log in. So let me do this. And I took about 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure it out. So unfortunately, that's how it goes. All right. Here it is. He mentions this 18-year property cycle. Okay. Again, I've never heard about any of that. Nothing. I've looked. My NVIDIA also with 33% profit, price plus dividends. Exactly. Exactly. I told you my NVDY, it went below cost. I told you that, what, on Monday? Well, I said, let me keep profit and we like to receive dividends. So it worked out beautifully, right? So all I did was buy back in and I got more shares. That's it. Because I took the profit, kept some of the profit, and just bought the same amount of shares. So uh, it's a beautiful thing. They're going to give me free money. I will take it. Congratulations again, EV Place. Job well done. 33% profit already, and he just started this year. So this is not even a whole year out yet. Beautiful work if you can get it. NVDY is a YieldMax ETF dividend fund. So if you're not familiar with that, please go check it out. Yeah, I can't log in. This is crazy. Go check it out. We also do some other things. On Wednesday night, we do talk about YieldMax ETF because USA Financial Reckoning, you're going to have to hold something that is going to give you passive income. And there's only a few things that actually will give you passive income without risk. There's risk with any investment. There is no such thing as without risk. There is always risk because if we have an epic meltdown, which by the way, we should have had an epic meltdown by now with our stock market uh, 6, 7 years back, but it didn't happen. And it didn't happen 3, 4 years back either, like it should have. And it's not happening last year like it should have. So this extension is crazy. But the only reason it can happen again is because the Federal Reserve has bought up a lot of equities. But the unfortunate part is they can't buy up all the homes. And now you guys remember what I told you 3, 4 years ago when people were all upset about corporations buying homes. And I was like, let them. Why do you care? It's not like they're buying 50% or 60% of all homes. They're buying enough homes in certain markets to raise the value of the property for you. If you're already bought in, I know what comes with it. I get it. Your property taxes rise also because they increased the value because they bought homes and they bought them for more than what they were actually worth. I get all that. But the fact of the matter is, sell your home, put it into a vehicle where you earn some money. You can live anywhere off of your money. Profit, right? I'm assuming 2, 3, $400,000, right? So this is what you have to think about. You have to be the CEO of my life. You can get this at, where? StopStrugglingNow.com. We have this gear and others. So go over there, get some. We have XL, 3XL, 2XL. We have a few remaining. All right. Just go see what we got. Go order. But put yourself in the driver's seat, the CEO. All right. It's that simple. All right. Let me do something else because we have a lot of people that have not downloaded Robinhood, Webull. Oh, hold on. I have something else I need to talk about. I'm putting in the chat room, Unstoppable Domain. Go over there and get your Unstoppable Domain. I put a link in the chat room. The reason why is you may thank me later, but if it's only going to cost you $5, $10, 15 or $20 or more, and it's a one-time fee, and that allows you to whatever you get, like I say, ssnlifestyle.crypto. Yes, I own that. ssnlifestyle.nft, stopstrugglingnow.crypto, right? If you need to send me crypto and it's one of the coins you use is in the top 350 coins, then all you use is my stopstrugglingnow.crypto, ericbird.crypto, right? And send it. I don't have to send you an alphanumeric character. That's the beautiful unstoppable domains. Plus, you can build a website and you can mint it on the blockchain, which means no government official can take it down. It's not an ISP. You can post videos, can't take it down. Not an ISP. You own it. Can't be taken away unless somehow the government is able to block blockchains. But that won't happen. You have miners. So, anyhow, the point is that is why you think about unstoppable domain as well, as I had to sidetrack because I completely forgot about that. There it is right there, free minting, which is another thing on the Polygon network. So, again, it's pretty awesome that you can put yourself in position, possibly for the future. Crypto's here to stay. All right. Just put that in your head. Crypto's here to stay. Coney, it's under $7. That's almost an eject button. I'm almost close to an eject button for Coney as well. See, because I'm like, I think I'm around 670 something or less. But yeah, it's got to be 670. It's close to my eject button coming up because I'm my price is like six. It's not 611. It's more than 611, but it's getting near my eject button. I got profits from my Coney. From the Coney is a Yieldmax ETF. In case you're new here, and it gives out passive income by dividends from the stock every month. And in fact, this week coming up is going to be Coney. All right. So hold on a second. I need to do something real quick because you guys know I like to give you guys that Robin Hood Weeble love. Let's see here. I think this will work. Hopefully, this can get in a lot of people's chats and can get it. Oops, that's too big, probably. That's not going to work. It might get one of those links might work, but all of them will not. So let's go with the top two. Get your free shares of stock, all right? Download these brokerage apps. Check it out if you haven't already. Get your free shares of stock. Of course, it's an affiliate link. But 680 is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I believe. I believe that's crazy. But I'm almost at the eject button for that as well. Again, all I'm going to do is just take my profit and be like, okay, my new price point's going to be. But if it's going to be near 52-week low, I'll take it. Even if it drops to 670 and I go below that and it goes to 640, 630, I'll live with that because that'll be close to the 52-week low. And if it goes below 611, you best believe, oh yeah, we'll be using our dividends to buy more. We'll use our free money to get some more. Thank you, EV Place, for that. That is awesome. No excuses, ladies and gentlemen. All right. I am accumulating dry powder for rate cuts. Dry powder's right. Otherwise known here as duffel bag of cash, ladies and gentlemen. You should always have some dry powder handy. Exactly. Like I said, that's why I'm hitting eject buttons, taking profits. And then I'm using that. I'm not taking out, I'm just using it to buy more stuff with my profits at their expense, is the way I look at it. It's like, why not? It's not, I don't have to put any more money in. I'll use the profits I took out, buy at the lower price, and whatever the profit difference is, I'll use that to say, yeah, I think I'll buy some more of ULTY because that's going down, down, down. It was under $6, I think it was. That's crazy. Another beautiful price point. Yes, 34 cents per on CONY. Exactly. CVNY, I know, a shocker. And yes, we have CVNY again, courtesy of EV Place. I couldn't believe it when I saw it today. I said, wait, is that right? Because every Wednesday we talk about Yieldmax ETF, and I started scanning it before we came live. And I was like, wait a minute, really? Incredible. So LFGY continues, even if it's at 41 cents, it's still on a 61%, which is crazy. That is crazy. So we're going to put this on the screen so people can understand what we're excited about around here. This is crazy. This is real crazy. The stock price for LFGY stock, it went down. It's under, oh my, you know what? I saw it, I think today. It's under 40. It's like 36. Something, I think it was 36 or 36. It's in the 30s. I think that was LFGY. I was like, what the heck? And again, PLTY is going in its weird, it was under 66, dropping, but staying within that 63 to 70, 63 to 69 and up, which again, you if PLTY goes to 63 or 64 or 62, you have to think about buying in, getting your dollar cost average right. Yeah, here's ULTY, 10 cents per share this week. You guys, let me check and make sure you can see this. This is incredible right now. That's incredible. And again, YMAG, 14 cents. But this 90 right here is crazy. Just off of 10 cents. But ULTY is now under, I think it's under $6. Like I said, it's under six. What actually happened after hours or whatever. Yeah, look, it's at $5.72. It went down earlier today to it was incredible. What is that? 560 something. So again, we're hitting eject buttons on a lot of things. In fact, is this 52-week low? 5.24. Yeah, it's pretty close to its 52-week low. So we have eject buttons coming up all over the place, which again, I don't really mind. Do profits and dividends. Hey, if we riding, we riding. It's pretty sweet. Let me know what you guys are thinking about this. All right. Yep. CV was under 39. Yeah, exactly. That was too. Is that the one I saw? Let me go look. Yeah, it was CVNY. I couldn't believe it. I think it was 36, man. Um, quite. It was either LFG or both. Um, Carvana, right? Oh, Jesus. Oh, what is that? See, wait, hold on. Ah, we got CVNY. Yeah. All right. Oh, I did have it right. Usually it pops up for me. All right. 41. And yes, it went down to, yeah, it looks like it went to maybe a little under 39. Let me go double check this. But these are opportunities. Let me see. 52-week low is 24.83. 52-week high is 58 for CVNY. So that is pretty awesome. By the way, uh, I gotta talk to you guys about something. You guys, we have people like DIM Pals, Post Retirement Travel, and a few others that might do option income trading officially with stocks. Do you guys know anything about these bots? Because there's friends of mine that called me up in the last week, and even the wife got in on it, who doesn't know anything about stocks or nothing. And there's a bot that actually trades. I don't know about this at all because it just seems weird to me, but a bot apparently trades. We're talking about people making, I mean, you can actually turn it off or something. I mean, people are making 200, 300, 500, 700 in some days, but we're talking about daily. So if even if you did 200 a day on average, that's 6 grand. If you did 300 a day on average, that's 9 grand. And if you do higher than that on average, then things start getting really interesting. So a couple of people reported back, and apparently, like this first week, I mean, I've known about it for a week, but I've never said anything because I wanted to see what the results were. The wife even got in on it. Her first day was yesterday before we left because they're using gold as the commodity to trade versus the USD, and it's apparently on the London Stock Exchange. So it ended up being first day $306, I think, or 304, something like that. So that's $300 profit by a bot trading. So then I'm like, wait a minute. That's where I'm like, hold up. If this does that, just even on an average basis, that's 9Gs. And I don't know much about it because you guys know I've never done option trading at all. I tried to learn, but now there's some bots is kind of automatic. So I'm like, hold up, let me think about this. But I figured I have some people here that may do this. So let's talk about it. Now, LFGY, let's go see what happened today with them. But anyhow, CVNY, yeah, it is right now $35.43. This is insane. 52-week low for LFGY is $30. This is broken below. It's 35.43 right now. It went to 34 today. And unfortunately, I was with my uncle and with my aunt. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to be in the stock market. Stuff was just binging. And then I said, let me rebuy. And then I just had to go on about my business. I was at the hospital. We had to make some family decisions. And it's not easy talking with all the experts and doctors. It was, it's pretty hard. And the worst part is the words I'll use is damned if you do, damned if you don't, is what applies. If you go one way, it could be catastrophic. If you go another way, it can be catastrophic. So actually, now it's a matter of discussion on what do people think are the choices, and that's where the problem comes in because each way is damned if you do, damned if you don't. So we made a decision. I think it was the right decision, but we'll see what happens. Here we go. You could catch PLTY under 55 today. It's like Black Friday. Oh my God. Wait. PLTY is under 60? Oh my God. Hold on a second. I got ejection points. I have ejection points. Isn't that going to be 52-week low? Jeez. That is insane. Could have. He said could have. Let's go see what it is right now. That is awesome. You guys, I get giddy when I see these Black Friday. I like that Black Friday sale. Yes, it's under 60 even right now, and you're right. It went down to 50. Oh my God. It's up to 59 right now, but this is crazy. Even 59 is crazy. 59.71 right now after hours. Oh, it dipped in after hours. Oh no. They're running this to 8 p.m. So it's a 24-hour market, but right now it's 59.71. So it closed at 59.71. Then it went up to 60 after hours. And then it settled back at 8 p.m. at 59.71. So probably somebody sold back off, or it could have been a option trading type of situation. But again, $46.49 is the 52-week low, and it got down to 55. That's incredible. 54.80. Sheesh. Wow. SMCI is at 16. This is incredible. MSTR is at $16.99. Yeah, this is a Black Friday sale on the past. You know why it happened? The Federal Reserve. They're out here talking. They don't know what to do. Our president's attacking one of the governors of the Fed. And here's what I'll tell you right now. The Fed, divided Fed, worried about tariffs, inflation, and the labor market minutes show. Okay? So this is why it's leaning towards a downside. Our bond market for the 10 years is 4.29. So it's going to hover at that 4.3, right? 4.25 to 4.35, in my opinion. Oil is at 63 unchanged. So again, there's nowhere to go. Gold and silver, a little bit of that's good. That's a place to go. Crypto, a little bit of that is good. That's a place to go. Some stocks that you can figure some passive income. You know what's very interesting regarding stocks? You don't have to always invest in stocks. You can say, let me get an ETF and let the ETF that basically is invested in the top 100 or top 200 or top 300 companies and let them manage it. Like you can go to VOO, one of the favorites, SPY, QQQ, and the indexes, and it'll, they'll manage, they'll sell whatever, but you're in a group. So you don't have to sell individual stocks. You can just go with the index fund, right? Make it simple on yourself. Not everybody likes to do that. But once again, we have something else ourselves. We have Wealthfront, which operates the same way, and their annual fee is pretty low. So let me see if I can get Wealthfront up here on the screen or in the chat room for you. All right. So check that out if you just want to set it and forget it. If you invest $500 up to $4,999, guess what? They don't charge you any fees at all. How sweet is that? Use the promo link. I'm putting it in the chat room for you. All right. Plain and simple. There you go. All right. So you can go to VOO, SPY, QQQ. VOOG is a Vanguard group. VGT, that's technology. VTI, oh, I love all those. That gives you a little something. If you want to go with small caps, you can always do a Russell 2000 with UMX ETF. But again, they do option income trading. They don't own the stock. All right. They own a little bit of the stock, but they base their dividends. We receive dividends on their option income trading. That's a beautiful thing, right? That's what we want. All right. It's that simple. Not that hard, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I might have skipped somebody's, but you can see on the screen. Let me get off the screen here. You can see on the screen how sweet it is with these dividends and some returns if you buy at the right price. So I'm looking here. We got MSFT. We have Hui is still at 73%. And they gave a $3.85. That's incredible. HOOY, $3.85 per share dividend. DraftKings, $2.19. That's incredible. Every 4 weeks. CVNY, $2.55. That's 80% return at these price points. That's incredible. You almost got 8%. 8% in 1 month. That's a good start if you would have been in at the $34, $35 price point. That is crazy. That's 70. Yeah, that's like 70% actually, right? But that's a nice price point, 80%, 70, 7, 225. So again, nice price points all the way around. AMDY, 54 cents. So again, UMAX ETF, this comes out every Wednesday. So you know if you buy before 8 p.m. at night, then you know you get a dividend. We also know there's a pattern. After people hold it tomorrow, there'll be a sell-off, right? Or after hours, there's going to be a sell-off. There's a pattern. I didn't even realize there was a pattern. So I could have been pulling the ejection button a lot of times, these big drops. But it's never really dropped like this, quite frankly, in a while. So this is why we get to take advantage just by these guys. There's other things you can do too, because now we have to go look at something else, right? We always have to go look at something else. We have to. EV Place says, here, let me get this off screen. EV Place says Vanguard owns 8% of MSTR. Exactly, EV Place. That's a big exposure for BTC. Yes, it is. But they know what they're doing because they're also buying BTC themselves. First of all, remember, EV place. You, I, and a lot of people post retirement travel I sees in the house know the history of BTC, and everybody else knows it's basically grown 25% per year. So they know they can have big exposure because they also know that of the meltdown that's happening with our US dollar and currency and what's happening around the world. So eventually what could end up happening is based on mathematics, BTC and ETH are going to have a squeeze play eventually. And since there's not an unlimited amount of that crypto, sooner or later there's going to be a correction where everybody's going to go, well, you can't even buy it unless somebody's selling it, right? That's what's going to end up happening. So that forces the price up automatically because people are going to say, well, this thing's going up. It's going up. It's going up. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it. I don't really care right now. People are going to wish they bought it 110 or 114 when it's 130, 150. And then they're going to like, man, I could have bought it. I thought it was too much then, but that's the whole point. Just like it was too much when it was 15 grand. It was too much when it was 3 grand. But now you could have hit the eject button if you bought at 3 grand or 4 grand or 5 or 15, and you can get 100,000 per. I mean, that's pretty good. But what are you going to transfer it into then? Because you're going to have to make that work for you as well. So I don't mind that. Post retirement travel, welcome to the SSN Nation. Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. Mr. Worldwide's in the house. Post retirement travel says his tagline, hello all, let's do this. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. We try to help everybody. Rising tides lift all boats. We don't want anybody left behind under our watch. We're trying to contribute to make sure people understand our United States is a declining empire. We're the Roman Empire, basically. Okay? We extracted a lot of deals around the world, protectionism around the world from resources. All of that protectionism cost money. We have to make deals with other countries saying, we want your resources, we're going to protect you. That is an expensive cost. And unfortunately, because we keep doing the reverse of what we should be doing, the rich people being able to get tax cut tax breaks, you shift the burden on the people that make less money to pay for this global empire that we have. And just like the Roman Empire, it starts succeeding recessions. You have to give up something in order to stay strong. And that's a contraction. We're in a contraction right now. That's why things are all over the map. That's why our dollar is losing value. The bond market, sooner or later, something's going to happen. But again, the Federal Reserve, give them credit. They've done something that I did not think they could do. That soft landing was like masterful, but really, it's just an extension. They're kicking the can down the road, and now it's going to be something, some catastrophe that I don't know if the United States is going to be able to deal with this, because now that we've made enemies of our allies that really don't trust us, they're also looking for an end if the United States falters, because we're giving up our power, because we're not actually being responsible leaders. We're not leading anything right now. And I'm shocked personally that another country hasn't actually stepped in our shoes and said, I'm here, allies. We'll let these guys, whatever, it looks like they're going to be friends with our enemies now. I don't know what's going on, but I'm the guy now. China can't do it because they're not part of the so-called alliance, because they said we're with BRICS. So that means what other country is actually even in any ballpark or any condition to be the leader? That is the multi-million dollar question. And unfortunately, since it's not none of the allies anymore, that leaves the other guys. It could be China. Hell, it could be Saudi Arabia for it. That's not a good position to be in. So what we're doing is giving up world leadership, I believe, and that's going to be a problem. So glad to see you, Mister Worldwide. I know you're going to be going on worldwide trip 2 coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So that ought to be awesome. Make sure you stay safe no matter what you're doing out there. MSTR. Is this even? I mean, there's so much stuff going on. If it's like a dream. But anyhow, back to this option trading bot. If anybody knows anything about it, any bots and doing this option trading, and even if it's worthy, like I said, so far, one night on the computer, going to start back tomorrow. Profit of $300 was booked in, $304. It's in this, it's like a group, right? You had to put some money in. So that's the thing that I don't really like about it. But you put money in, you pay for this bot, is what you basically do. And then, of course, you have to have your own trading money that you put in. Um, so at that point, now you trade. Now, check this out: $1,000 in the account, and $304, I think, was the profit. And it ran while we're on the plane. While we're on the plane, it was running, and we landed, and it, woke up, and it said 304. I was like, that's impressive. Let's see what tomorrow brings. So starting tomorrow again, doing the bot. It runs on the London Stock Exchange. So that time is different. They're like, I think it's, well, okay, they should be like 6 hours, 7 hours ahead, depending on where you are. So like right now, it's probably what? Oh, I'm thinking, okay, I'm on the East Coast. It's 10 at night. Oh, it's 10 at night. Uh, hold on, let me just look it up. Let's go look and see London time right now. London time. Is that going to be like 3 a.m. in the morning, Eastern or something? Yeah, it's 3:08 a.m. 3:08 a.m. is London time right now. So it's 10. So that means they're 5 hours ahead of Eastern time, something like that. Okay. And then when we fall back, it'll be 6. So there you go. 5 hours ahead of Eastern time. So their stock market's going to open up in a few hours. Um, in a few hours. So it's funny. It's funny. Um, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. London time. All right. But again, I don't really know about it because I thought you can actually trade Forex, which I thought that was considered Forex trading if you're using gold versus USD. I just thought you can trade 24/7. But apparently, I don't really know and understand it, but I'm about to understand it because I'll let you guys know on Friday what happened on tomorrow, Thursday. So I'll know the numbers. So if something happens where there's 3 days in a row and there's an average of, I don't really care what the average is. I'll just use a number. I'll just say the first day was 300, the next day was 200, and the next day is 200. Um, if it's something of that nature, and you're talking about $700 a week for some Autobot thing going, that's still 3 G's a month for something that you just need a computer, which everybody has, laptop, computer. They don't have mobile, but hey, it has potential. I'll put it that way. I'm still studying. I just wanted to let you guys know. In case other people know about anything like that, let me know. Because again, you guys know I don't do option trading at all. Okay, post retirement travel, nice market pullback today. Keep buying, hang in there. Exactly. Hey, a lot of people should be at their below their dollar cost average with what's been happening. Again, Nvidia dropped again. It went to 173. I saw my eject button. It was at 177. My dollar cost average was around 90, 90, I think it was. So I said, why am I going to let it go from 180? It went up to 185 down to 173. I ejected 177. So I said, okay. And then it dropped even further. And so then I'm like, well, then, okay, that little $4 difference or whatever it was, I bought a little bit more shares for that, had some profit, kept a profit, bought the same shares amount or more, and said, what should I do? Now I see on one instance, I made the right call because I didn't rebuy for one of the yield max, as it turns out. I thought I did, but I didn't. So as we were looking through, I'm sitting there like, oh man, but it don't matter. It went down even further. So now I get to buy back in. It's beautiful at a lower price. And I get my kept my profit. Nice market pullback is right. I love it. If they let MST, it's already crazy. But it's gonna be on the MS. I think it's gonna be on it. It's gonna be on S&P, I believe, because it's grown 25% every year on average. On average, some it went higher, some went, so I don't see how that won't happen. It's gonna happen. That's how the stocks work. They add winning stocks. That's why the stock market always keeps going up. They take off the weaker ones, so it's always the best of the best. Post retirement travel says EV plays PLTY follows the flow of Palantir. PLTR has gone up around $18 so far overnight. I have the feeling it will hit mid 160 tomorrow, uh, bringing PLTY with it. Yes, after hours it started going back up. You're right, post retirement travel. It went down and then it crept up overnight by $4 to PLTY. I think it was. So yeah, yeah. These are the ones you like. Palantir is a pick by the government. So I don't. I wouldn't be betting against them. But if you can buy in at this price point for PLTY or PLTR, I think those are both good price points. Government approved, government contracts, Department of Defense contracts. Brian P. Mr. Dividend is here. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he brings his simple tagline. Hello, Eric, unless I missed something up here. Hello, Eric. Hello to you, man. Very, very happy to see you once again. And no, I can't check my messages. I've already tried. You missed my message. Oh, there we go. I missed it. How did I miss it? Where? I don't see it. Geesh. Oh, here it is. I really skipped. I really skipped. Brian P. Here we go. Properly welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he says, happy day, Eric. Happy to you. I hope all is well with you. It's going well, man. We're under a little stress and pressure, but it's okay. We're here. You know, when I'm in the house, I like to make sure things get better. So we're going to be here trying to help familia. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. I appreciate that. Hey, it's free, ladies and gentlemen. Support a little bit every now and then. In fact, we're not even monetized, in case anybody wants to know. So we just do this trying to help you. All right. That's how we do it. And yes, I used to be monetized, but you know, I do harmful rhetoric because we're talking about real deals for you to be able to make stock and investment picks. You should know what the economy's doing. So if a president is effing up, you got to say it's effing up. If somebody's effing up, you have to point out they're effing up. So why is that bad? Well, I don't know, but it could have something to do with like when I got in the tiff with these people not paying me. That could be harmful rhetoric too. But whatever it is, it does not matter. We are not monetized. Eric, if you are a trader, you are playing against guys with 10 to 15-year experience in bots, chance to win 10% long term. Wait. Bot's chance to win is 10%. Long term, is that 90%? Okay, okay, here's the first thing. One of the reasons I never wanted to get involved with option trading and day trade, the losing percentages are in the 90s. That's why that's why I was like, what am I doing? I would never do day trading. It's like 95% fail rate. So I was like, that doesn't make sense. Then I was checking out option income and it's also up there. I think it's like 90 or something. I was like, holy smokes. All these people are saying they're winning. And now I find out, no, they're not winning like that. Sure, it's just like the stock market. Not the stock market. It's like 10% of people are winning, 90% of people are losing. That doesn't bode well. The bot thing, now bots I kind of like because a bot you should be able to say, hey, if I make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% on my money, then why? And I can do that every day. That starts adding up because all of a sudden, if you make 30, 40% or more, and there's ways you can do more, I hear in a month, that's pretty good. 300% in a year, that's crazy, right? It starts getting ridiculous if that's possible, and apparently some people it is. Um, but let me know what you exactly mean about bots. Um, Long term 90. Let me know what you mean because if that's negative 90%, that would make sense, and that would make sense from my numbers. Brian P. Okay, that's what I missed. I missed a slew of stuff up here. James Way, I also missed. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. And he says, hello, all, as his tagline starts. The rent is still too damn high. Let's find out about these bots. Exactly. The jury's out, but from what I understand, they claim, again, there's a lot of people that claimed a lot of stuff over these years, but they claim they've been doing this for like 3 years. So I'm gonna go research, check it out, and then we'll talk on Friday because I'll find out if it's actually working. And oh, by the way, withdrawal attempt number one will be tomorrow, just so you guys know. So on Friday, I'll know if what the profit will be for 2 or 3 days. Yeah, by Friday night it'll be 3 days, and then I'll know about the withdrawal on the profits. Right? So now we'll know, right? There's no holding up money. You can withdraw the profits immediately and all this. I want to make sure we can get our money out. It's not some funky stuff that we've done in the past with, BTCs and all this other stuff where you couldn't get the money out and all that. So again, I'm going to give you guys some more info on Friday. So don't miss the Friday night, 9, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live stream because that's when it's going to come out. So we'll know a lot more. And so I missed a few of you guys. So thank you for letting me know, Brian P. And nice to see you, James Way, once again in the house. Another investor is here. Okay, here we go. Let's go. Uh-oh, he's going to give me some bad news. This is not good. Okay, I missed your message, which was the bad news originally. Now he's going to give me some more later. Oh, here we are. CONY. That's, yeah. Coinbase, MicroStrategy, Mara, we're holding the whole NASDAQ today. Keep an eye on them. You should be. The price points, even Mara went down, I believe. It was like, I was like, is there something happening right now? Because I briefly looked at it and I was like, man, I went to CNBC and I just saw like barely red. I was like, there's nothing happening. Why is this going on? But again, we talked about this in previous live streams. Our economy's crumbling right underneath our feet. Another amount of layoffs for the steel company. Another amount of layoffs on Pepsi Cola the other day. We talked about it on Monday. I mean, it's getting out of hand. These are livable wage jobs. And also, our president today announced there will be no more funding, unbelievably, for green energy. Can you believe this? I'm like, what do you mean by this? You're not going to enter into the green energy race? We can't do coal and oil indefinitely. That's not efficient. This is a big, huge problem. Those are livable wage jobs. If we were the leader in the industry, then we would have people making six figure from installations to manufacturing to drawing up some new inventions. This thing about trying to keep it down is not making sense. The rest of the world is going that way because they realize energy is not sustainable. The price is going to keep rising, and you have to maintain the grid. That's the problem. Efficiency, grids. You got to change it, dig it underground, have to have it on poles. You got to do power stations. That is a power station from 30 years old. Come on, 50 years old. That's not working. Who's going to upgrade it? You don't have we don't even have the money. We'd rather spend $1 trillion on the war efforts. $1 trillion on our defense budget, $1 trillion on kidnapping immigrants and United States citizens. $2 trillion that we don't have money for. Instead of spending $1 trillion on green energy or renewable energy sources, fixing up our grids, roads, highways, infrastructure. Nothing. Again, that's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. And that would put people to work, by the way, right? I'm just saying. But this is where it's headed. So we already know what's going to happen. 1 year, 4 months. Make sure you invest. Make sure you do everything. Here, EV Place. I'm not a daily trader. Can't help you with that. But I'm watching a guy who is teaching it, and he is showing his 2 million wallet, fully transparent stock mo. Okay. Yeah, I don't. Again, I've seen these guys do all this stuff, but EV Place. I'm going to say something. There's this thing, right, where these guys tell me they make all this money, show me a wallet. I don't know if it's real or not, whatever. My thing is, most of the time, these same guys who claim they're making all this money, they sit there and say something like, well, if you want to come join me, 5 grand, 10 grand, you can join me. I'm like, what are you talking about right now? You said, like you show right here, you have a $2 million wallet, knowing full well people are out here barely making a living. So are you making money from the people you're telling to give them money, like information guys, or are you actually making the money from your trades? I don't know. But all I say is I'm always skeptical because I'm just like, wait, you say you make, I don't know, $300,000 a year, but yet you're worried about 4 or 5 grand from people. Seriously, 10 grand from people. You make $1 million a year, but I'm going to worry about 5 grand from people or 10 grand from people. That's crazy to me. Not to them, maybe, but to me it is. But thank you for the insight. Because back in the day, like 3, 4 years ago, I was saying, you know what, let me go check this out. Because post retirement travel started saying, I'm going to start the trading. In fact, post retirement travel, you know what? You were supposed to make a video for your wheel, remember? I know you don't want to let the secrets out, but hey, I'm trying to talk you into it. But here's the thing. If I'll check it out. In fact, I'm going to cue this up right now. And I'll go see if I've seen this before because I checked out several people, but I can't wrap my head around it when you're actually doing the trade yourself. I understand that there's like 100 units, I guess, every time you do something. And in fact, now it's on all the apps, Robinhood, Webull, Moomoo. You can actually trade. I mean, it'll allow you to do options. So now I get a better idea on how it actually works. And now I can understand a little bit better how you could make some money, but there's still this, I can do it. I haven't excuse me, I should test just to see, but I didn't want to make a mistake. because I know it's based on 100 units. So if you say I want to buy something, let's just say it's $100, and that's 100 times $100, right? So if you do something crazy, you might owe thousands of dollars. But since I don't know it that well, I'm not willing to take a risk on that opportunity. I got to figure out a way I can test it maybe somehow. But you said stock mo. Okay, stock mo. I see crypto comes up. Oh, options. Stock mo options. Okay. Okay. Stock mo scam. What is this? Okay. Stock mo. Stock mo. He's gone. Wait, what? No, he's not gone. He's here. I found his YouTube channel. Yeah, people don't like that. Whatever. I don't know. Okay, so after this is over, I'll look at this, but I'm gonna know more in 3 days. But again, 3 days doesn't make a year. But we're gonna find out, right? Okay, I'm looking at stock mo. He's talking about XRP. Is it over? Just sold. He's talking about XRP, 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 XRP. Oh, maybe. Hold on. Live streams, you said. Hey, we'll give him some credit. Okay, Stock Squad, this is big. XRP, XRP. Okay, he only has now 5 live streams. Two from a month ago. Technical analysis failure. Technical analysis failure. Yeah, he's not showing any lives, unless wait, hold up, unless podcasts are live. Nope. So yeah, he only has 4 lives. If this is stock mo, he has 700,000 subscribers. It says he only has 38 videos. So all right, somebody give me somebody else just in case. All right, so we'll see. Yes, London is 5 hours ahead of us here in Florida. Okay, there we go. Okay, post retirement travel. All my charts are showing lots of buying volume right now. That's overseas people dumping the duffel bags of cash. Exactly. Exactly. You can't blame them. Hey, Eric, the news is all bad on those emails, man. I can't even open them. I can't do it, man. You're going to have to give me some headlines. Okay, by bots, I mean algorithms that can buy and sell under. Yeah, that's the way I look at bots. That's how I think of bots. I'm thinking it actually buys and sells, and you tell it to what percentages or something. That's what I'm thinking. So I don't know exactly if they're really bots, is my thing. 90% chance of winning for long term holders. Oh, I like that. I like that. That's cool. We'll find out. If you want to do option trading, you need to do it on the seller side. Selling puts and calls. You want to be the casino. Let buyers come to your table. Yeah, I saw something. You know what? I was in there one day. This is like when Nvidia was I think it was around 117, something like that. They had something that was crazy, right? At least I thought it was crazy at the time. It was like 30 days out and it said 150. And the premium or whatever it was, I don't know how this really works, but it was cheap as hell. And sure enough, like 30 days later, it was at like 155. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Crazy, crazy, crazy. But I like that. Selling puts and calls. Okay, again, I know what puts and calls are, but I don't know what the selling part is. That's the only problem. Also, on the option trading, stick with the simple strategy and be consistent. Also, only trade blue chip ETF. The ones I trade are SPY, QQQ, and IWM. They have all the juicy premiums. It's passive income. Okay, again, again, I don't fully understand, but we'll go around. Auto dealer drains 26 million from Capital One and massive bank. Oh my God, bank fraud scheme, DOJ. Good God. Here we go. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Let me get me a looking good just in case somebody comes out here later. Who is this guy? Um, let's go. Oh my God, man. This is get see, this is what I'm saying. Remember what I always told you guys. I told you guys. I used to go hang out with all these guys, right? I'm just a young gun showing up. They're all like 20 years older than me. And they're sitting there like, hey, man, this guy looks good, smells good, got the beautiful woman on his arm. Who is this cat in here with us? Then when you start talking to these idiots, they're really like, they're no smarter than you, but they've got tricks and they've got friends. So this is no shocker that this type of stuff keeps happening because all these guys, they basically do shortcuts. So this is no surprise at all. I mean, it's just uncanny how many bankers, how many car guys, how many, I mean, it's just uncanny. How many people on Wall Street are embezzling? How many people? These guys are all doing something that is unbelievable. I was doing the gas station thing, and now I'm finding out gas stations are all of a sudden, I didn't realize they move like basically like paper. It's insane. There's people buying these things left and right like it's no tomorrow. And I'm like, what's the big deal? These things should be sitting here. It's not like there's several components to it. But I'm like, man, this is crazy. I find something, talk to the guys. Oh, wait, it's under contract. I was like, you just put it up on your site. They're like, yeah, but somebody saw it too. And there's a massive amount of people's in this oil and gas business because once you're in, it's kind of like you get to do stuff that most people can't do. So that's why I wanted to get in. But so far, I'm on the outside looking in. But back to these guys, that's what they do. A former auto dealer is facing a maximum of 30 years in prison for running a massive bank fraud scheme. Jesus, this is out of control. Solar panels and wind turbines are not efficient neither, Eric. If you calculate footprint from production to recycling, we need uh, it better before oil runs out. But here's the point I'm trying to make, EV Place. If you don't do the funding and you're not actually in the game, you can't make any advancements. So now you're at the whim of buying it from China, for instance, like everybody does in the DR. They buy it from China. People can be fully off grid because you can buy from China with the battery packs, inverters, and all that. That's what I'm saying. America's missing out on all these sales worldwide. These guys are worldwide selling their solar stuff. It's insane. USA is missing out on all this. So even if we don't, even if you say, hey, Eric, we don't have it, and you say it's not efficient, which I don't know what that means because it should be once you start rolling out, unlike the propellers, right? The wind turbines. Now that I'm assuming may take power, but I'm thinking, why wouldn't you have some panels or whatever power sources you can use to actually make it spin and produce electricity versus using electricity to make it spin? Or wind. It should be wind, and then it should be clear. The cost I don't know about, but I don't understand why it wouldn't be efficient though. Because, okay, let's go a different route. There's new things that came out, but it has to do with solar. When we do wind and we have turbines, the cost of the turbine and what's the maintenance and upkeep, because the wind should be powering it, so it doesn't cost us that, but I'm sure there's going to be upkeep because if it's man-made, it wears out. So I don't know the efficiency quotient. If you calculate footprint from production to recycling, we need it to be better before oil runs out. Yeah, but again, there are some countries that they're getting close, and maybe some countries in the EU are pretty close. They use a lot of wind power. So does China, and solar. Green energy. They use a lot of green energy. All those open spaces that we have in America and in China, they put panels, just fields of panels. I don't know how efficient the panels are, how you clean them and upkeep and all that, but all I'm saying is if there's free power from the sun without you having to put in a factory or a facility to create power and tether it to some wires and underground, above ground, and do all this and come to some power stations, I mean, that would be awesome. But again, I don't see why you wouldn't try. You have to try, just like computers. This is like computers. If Apple and Microsoft decided to stop in the 80s and said, "Oh, it's don't worry, don't mess with the internet. It's not going to be nothing." We would be behind. And actually, we are almost behind, quite frankly, in on that front. But the point I'm trying to make is, if you're going to stop, you're going to be left behind, so you can't even do any improvements, which is why that's dangerous. And it would be same dangerous if in the 1980s, Microsoft and Apple said, "Yeah, man, it ain't going to work. You know what? We're going to let somebody else take the lead on this." We would have been way behind on that too. That's what I'm talking about, actually. I don't want to be behind, even if it does mean R&D, research and development. We lose money on research and development. That's the way it goes until we get to that efficient point. That's how we're supposed to do it. That's business. That's the leaders. Acting United States Attorney for the Middle District of Tennessee, Robert E. McGuire, says a federal jury has convicted what? Uh, Acting U.S. Attorney, federal jury has convicted who? Who? Another story. Trump says Fed Governor Lisa Cook must resign after William Pulte alleges mortgage fraud. Yeah, I heard that too. Again, attacking people because you want the Federal Reserve to do something, and they're probably against increasing it or decreasing the federal rate, which I would be also because it makes no sense. But coming up with lawfare that everybody said was wrong as a president or government to do, he's personally telling his DOJ to go after people. That's bad. Because again, I'm on the list. You guys don't understand. When you're on the list, you have a lot of stuff the government can do to you. So you might not be in jail, but they can F with your documents. They can F with your, like my case, birth dates. They can change stuff in the systems. So you're just going on about your life and things don't make sense, but you don't know why. When you're trying to talk to people and they're saying things don't match up and all this, and you're like, what are you talking about? Birth date, ID, here's cards, here's passports, here's all my stuff. What do you mean? I never thought nothing about it because I never really needed much stuff. But then, like I said, I started checking into Social Security stuff, and they're like, hey, your birth date doesn't match since 1992. And I'm like, who can change it? I told you guys, who can change it? Who changed it? Oh, no, we don't have nobody's name on there. This is weird. I don't know how. I said, yeah, tell me about it. I was like, so all this time when people would say this doesn't match up and all this, when I'm doing my mortgages and doing my loans, and they were saying this and that, and then they would say, okay, everything else matches. You got your Social Security card, you got your tax returns, you always have the 14th. My birth date never came up. It would always be something doesn't match. And I'd be like, what are you talking about? So this is what we're going to do. And so it would always get bypassed until now. I was like, are you kidding me right now? Oh, that's when I used to play with the federal government. I see what they're doing. You never know what these guys are out here doing. Stock mo, crypto mo, same guy. Okay. Thank you for that. LA County warns people to avoid beaches due to high bacterial levels ahead of heat wave. Hey man, this is crazy. It's like we live in a third world country, really. For option trading, go into YouTube, type option trading, wheel strategy with SPY and QQQ. That's what I do. I sell puts and calls. I have never nor will ever be an option buyer. Okay. Well, that's good news. Thousands of pounds of cheese made in Ohio are being recalled. Another recall. Jesus Christ. This is just out of hand. This is just getting out of hand, ladies and gentlemen. See, USA financial reckoning is coming. You don't have the people to go look at your USDA, FDA, check on factories and manufacturing principles, how your food stock is being treated. Are they pumping it up with steroids or any other bad chemicals that's going to be consumed by you at the kitchen table? That gets kind of crazy. FDA warns public not to eat possibly radioactive shrimp sold at what? Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, you live in a third world country, you don't know it yet. When you have a country that has to keep their billionaires or the richest happy, keep defense, military might without putting anything towards public safety. Oh my God, this is crazy. And then you have a government, an administration that basically F FDA, get rid of it. F Department of Education, get rid of it. They're like, I'm just like, wait a minute, man. What are you guys out here doing? F the Consumer Protection Bureau, get rid of them to help your consumers fight against corruption. No, we'll just get rid of them. So what if they get stepped on by corporations and all these rich people? Wow. The question is, who let China become a manufacturer of the world? No, that's not the question. No, that's not the question. Um, the situation is no matter, okay, everybody, every country always goes to wherever they can get the cheapest labor. In America, it was slavery. So that's why we had manufacturing here for eons. Then we had segregation, which was still a form of slavery because you can always, I can say, I don't want you to work here. Before civil rights in 1960s, you could say, I don't want to work here. I don't want you to work here. You're the wrong color. That was legal. So you still were able to, if you want to work here, I can pay you just like immigrants paid less. So you still had cheap labor for all of the big wigs, big countries already established, right? After you lose that, now all of a sudden, the cheap labor is India, right? China, South America, Mexico, Thailand, Vietnam. Back in the day, you guys know Ford, Henry Ford, making all his machines. You know what? Where did the tires come from? You know where banana trees were in South America? He actually bought land, bought the trees, made the rubber for his cars, shipped them from South America because they were so cheap and that's where they were. And then they shipped them up here. Same thing. All right. Just keep in mind, you go wherever the cheapest labor is around the world. How do you think Dubai is being built so fast? A lot of people don't realize the travesty. They get Indian, as in India, slave labor. And it's even worse. These guys come over with the promise of decent wages. Then when they get there, their passport is taken. And then they live in makeshift tents for all intents and purposes, bunk beds. And they pay them a little bit of money and they can't leave because you don't have the paperwork to leave. You don't have your passports or papers. So that's how Dubai is being built overnight. One of the reasons, just so you guys understand. So you're always going to go, the powerful countries are always going to go with the cheapest labor. That's why the British Empire was in Hong Kong, in India, Pakistan, all over the world, even trying to get USA to do their manufacturing, 1800s, 1900s, before we got world currency. So again, That's how it works. So your question about who gave China the manufacturing, it does not matter. China's going to grow up, but their growth spurt is going to be like USA the next 50 to 100 years. They've positioned themselves to be the leader for economics. They're the only one that rivals the United States as far as GDP. In fact, they beat us. People don't even, the USA keeps beating their chests. I'm like, we're losing because you idiots are acting stupid by not trying to be the best. Now, we previously, just 4 years ago, we had a president that says, oh, mandatory chips and science. Because, of course, we don't want to buy from Taiwan, who produces 84, 85% of the chips. Because eventually, if something happens with Taiwan, with China, that's off market. So they come up with that. That made sense. You say you don't want to be behind. I say no too. You have a president that says, okay, let's do green renewable energy. Let's back it. I say, good idea. Because we can't lose. We're letting everybody else get ahead of us and we can't catch up. That means nobody's coming to us to buy a damn thing. And that's why we're having an implosion with our manufacturing. We don't have anything anybody wants. Wow. I can't believe it. I'm talking about everything. We can't hear you, Eric. No wonder everything was going off. I'm sitting here talking until I finally get down to it. Germany are selling solar panels, turbines to Poland to avoid recycling fees. Oh, yeah, there's going to be tricks, man. Just remember, all of this is new. That's the whole reason the United States shouldn't be sitting on the sidelines. There's an open field here. This is why I love what Biden was doing when he said, hey, we got to do the chips and science. We got to do these chips. Oh, hell, we got to get to the green energy too because we're behind. We should be the leader like we used to be on all fronts, anything new. The solar panel stuff has driven me crazy for years. How come we're not the leader of this? This is insanity. You acquiesce, you allow China to become the leader by default because you don't want to be the leader. I'm like, this is insane. We have had the best schools. We still have great colleges and schools. People knew what's going on. We prided ourselves in education and mathematics and sciences and all this. That's what kept us great. And immigrants, all working hard, different backgrounds, different ideas, different ways of thinking of things. And we produced things and came up with great ideas. And now we're going back to, I don't know what this is. Don't want to have books that tell you about history. Don't want to have books to help people with science. Don't want to have, what the, I mean, like, what is going on? It's the opposite of what we should be doing. So anyhow, I got all these things about can't hear you, no sound at 10:48. Tamara Larry's here. I'm on mute, she says. Thank you, because it was rhetoric. Don't worry, it was bad rhetoric. Welcome to the SSN Nation Wealthy Wednesday night live stream. All right. I need to learn how to read from the mouth. Exactly. I was on like a 10-minute tirade. So it's a good thing you guys didn't hear me because I was going off. All right. um, for all the lip readers. Now, guess what happened while we're talking? It turned green for the Dow futures by a little bit, only 0.04, 0.07, 0.15%. But it's green. Can you believe this? Green for tomorrow, overnight, right now. This is interesting. So, again, ladies and gentlemen, as they say, maybe you should buy the dip. All right. Well, I didn't want to be on too long, but now I find out for 10 or 15 minutes I've been ranting and raving, talking about stuff that you guys, well, it was cool, but unfortunately you missed it. All right. Thank you so much for being here, ladies and gentlemen. You guys know I love you very much. I'm in a different time zone. My aunt is getting moved as we speak. But I did the live stream. My uncle went to go check on her, even though they didn't really need us. She's moved to another facility for it's the same type of thing, except not at the main one. But now she's getting so she can get her antibiotics regimen finished. We don't want to bring her home without that, so we moved her. So all's good. I need to learn from my mouth. Exactly, man. You got to learn lip reading in English, in Spanish, in Italian, in Russian, and Chinese. How about that? That'd be pretty crazy. All right. I'm not going to be on here too much longer because, again, if anybody does not think United States financial reckoning is not coming, please let me know. Don't get caught off guard. You're going to need something. How about, I'll keep saying it, offshore? Bank account, business, real estate outside of America. Just saying. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it hard. All right. That's what you should be doing. Thanks, Eric. I hope poker went well. No, I have not went to poker. I can't right now. I have all hands on deck. I'm playing the CEO, the Avenger. Not on my watch. We got work to do with health for my aunt. I still got work to do, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Eric, are you going to DR anytime soon to check on the project? No, never, ever. I'm not going back to DR, quite frankly. No matter what I said about them, I like DR. But we have a philosophical difference, as it turns out. After I hung out with these guys, I started being like, wait, are you guys like mimicking America 1950s, 1960s? What are you guys over here doing? Um yeah, and again, you guys know, even if somebody says it's normal, right? A lot of people will say, "Hey, Eric, these pre-construction projects, they don't get done till whenever, 5 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years." I'm like, I don't really care. That's not how you do business. So I'm supposed to be happy because they're like, "Oh yeah, we told you we'll collect money for 2.5 years, but we said the first phase would be done 2.5 years or two and a half, yeah, 30 months, 36 months." And you guys think it's funny and think I'm going to think it's funny when we have people putting in their hard earned money in, and now 2 years and 3 years later, they wake up and be like, "Hey, you haven't even started yet?" And you think it's okay because you start another year later and you finish the thing first phase or something in 7 years, 8 years. Do you understand what that means? Well, they don't know what it means. We know what it means. The problem is, now you have a situation where there's a meltdown. You have change that was unaccounted for. If you said 2 years, 3 years, 2, 3 years, things were stable. But now when you say 7 years, well, look what's happening. Now all of a sudden you're in year five. We have a recession. Canadians have a recession where 85% of them are living paycheck to paycheck. Now we have tariff wars all over the place. Well, not all over. United States has tariff wars all over the place. And now we have an economy that's shrinking. Now people are willing to spend their money on traveling and going out and about and doing crazy stuff. So now all of a sudden, if I wanted to have a business that's catering towards tourism in that country, and that country is doing nothing other than having people pay for stuff that they don't know it's going to be built. That's the problem. And the government does nothing. 7 years, 8 years go by, and they know that they know what's going on. People told them, they said, "Hey man, we don't feel safe because some of these projects didn't get built. Some of these projects are still 8 years, 7 years in, still not built." But they collected the money 5 years ago. That was their 30 or 40 or 50% or 60% or 80% down. And the stock market has went record highs for the last 10 years. Forget that. Under Obama, record high. Trump 1, record high. Biden, record high. Trump 2, record high. So now that money that you had sitting there for 5, 6 years, 2 record high administrations have gone by. You would have doubled, tripled your money probably. Yeah, you would have because yeah, you would have, because Nvidia, Tesla, Apple, all these guys, their stocks were way lower, and they've had stock splits. So, because Nvidia was $40 or something, it went to 1,000. Then they split it 10-1. Now it's up to 170. Well, it was up to 180, but 173.75. You know how much money people made? All they needed was a few shares, 50, 10 shares of Nvidia, and they would be doing great. I mean, seriously. 10 shares of Tesla just 7 years ago, 8 years ago. I mean, come on. This is crazy. So now I get a little more upset because I see these guys maneuvering a different way, moving a different way. Not, I find out how much people are making, what they're doing. They're not doing the infrastructure. I'm like, dudes, you guys were promising a different storyline. So no, I'm not going there, and I'm not checking out anything. You know why I'm not checking out anything is because they have people still over there that are realtors, and they actually show, videos, drone shots, so you can actually catch up and see what's happening. But the problem is now there's less people doing it. So, but it doesn't matter to me because, as you guys know, in case you don't, My other deal was Larimar. Larimar is starting to build some foundations, but again, you know how Larimar operates. They'll show you videos of something, and then it'll be 8 months later, and nothing changed. You know how they operate. So I'm not. I don't really care what they're doing because I tried to get my money back already. I haven't sent a payment in over a year and a half. I think it's definitely a year and a half. So whatever happens, happens. But I damn sure aren't giving them 60, 70 grand to sit here and wait till 2028, 2029. That wasn't in the books. The thing was supposed to be done first phase September. They kept saying it was. So I'm not going to check there. Atlantida, all the places are late. Oceana, Atlantida. I don't know about Poseidonia, but again, Poseidonia is way too expensive. You're talking about 2 bedrooms for 300 grand, condos. I mean, I don't care if it's at Hard Rock or not. That's a lot, quite frankly. And now there's some story about Airbnb in Sosua delisting people. Yeah, that's crazy because they're tying it to some sort of sex tourism. That's getting out of hand. So yeah, no love, man. Not going back. And I got other issues though. Again, I have bad rhetoric. Prayers for you and your family. Thank you so much, man. I greatly appreciate it. EV Place, best wishes for your aunt. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, the family's here, man. We're gonna make things happen. I'm pretty sure. The Ministry of Tourism announced that the country reached a record. Yeah, I saw that EV Place in July, boosted by air connectivity and construction of a new terminal at Las Americas. Okay, whatever. Okay, that same article, I don't believe them, so I don't know what to tell you. That same article did not share anything. They didn't share any percentages. They didn't share any numbers. I went to Tourism Analytics to see if they put it in July because they use this Statistics One. The guys that report it, that's where they get their numbers from. They haven't listed July yet because I'm not believing them. Last year was 811,000, just so everybody understands. Now I just find it hard that they'll beat that record by 50,000 while we're at 1%. Now that still keeps us at 1%. But the point is, um, I can't believe them because they've been using cruise numbers, but in this case, they're saying it's actual air. So I was like, okay, run the numbers for us. Who came from where? Because if you give me this 60% number from USA and Canada, where both countries are 80% or higher, living paycheck to paycheck for its consumers, I will not believe you. I'm not believing you because we've had them going down because of that and because of this world going in and out of America is not safe for anybody. So I'm not believing it. But if somehow they really do have 863 by air, that would be a miracle. Which would be it defies logic on how they achieve that. So I want to see how they achieved it because I don't think they have 60 to 65% of Americans and Canadians combined. I would think it would be like another time where it dropped from about 60% down to 50%. And that's significant. Those are the top two countries. So where did they get the other countries from? And I know they started promoting in Colombia and things like that. But again, I can't believe in the number. I need to see it on a different spectrum because then I can see hotel occupancy rates. I want to see everything. I don't like that announcement, quite frankly. Sorry to hear that, Eric. So you're going to just let it go and cut your losses? Damn. I hear your frustration, but that's too big to swallow for me at this point. It's only, like I said, it's somewhere between 17 grand and 20 grand. Who said I'm going to swallow it though? That's the thing. I mean, we'll see what happens. Right now, they won't give me the money back. I mean, maybe later. But the point is, I'll deal with it later because this lack of government, all I'm waiting for is the government to go, you know what? Who's ever in this business, you're going to be tracked. You're going to be under, if you don't deliver. See, all it takes is a government to go, if you don't deliver on time, when you collect the money, after you collect the money for the delivery date, something along these lines. After you collect the money for the delivery date, you tell people this is the delivery date. You have 6 months after that delivery date to deliver. If you don't, here's the penalty. And by the way, we need a deposit. I mean, something, because this is crazy, right? This is crazy. So I don't know if I'm going to swallow it, but yeah, I'm going to swallow it by this regard, because I was like, after what they were doing and lying and all this BS, I said, you know what? It's better to sit there and have off-site 17 to 20 grand than it is to have off-site 60 grand or 70 grand. Meanwhile, the stock market's going up. So now I have duffel bags of cash that I can use for that. So I actually don't really, I mean, I care, but I'm sitting here like, I mean, come on. Since we started in 2022, stock markets have done this nicely. All-time record highs, all-time record highs. Let's get real. So all that money would have been going to these guys. So again, and now we're in jeopardy of Larimar not being built as it was, because it cost way more. It's going to cost way more now than if they would have started two years ago, and it's going to cost way more next year, because I don't even think they have the foundations done. In fact, I'd be willing to bet you they don't. I haven't seen any videos. Remember how they started showing videos, that pool area? Maybe a restaurant's there, but who cares? Nobody can stay there, and nobody's going to be up there doing anything anyhow unless you bust them up there. That's not a destination. Somebody's going to come hang out at the pool and drink. That's not a that's just stupid. It irritates me. Sorry to hear that, Eric. So you're going to just let it go? Yeah, damn. I hear your frustration. That's too big to swallow for me at this point. Oh yeah, for you, there's no way. Post-retirement travel, you can't. You already did like 50% or whatever. Yeah, there's no way. You're 50%. That's what I was getting at. I don't want to get up to that number. In my case, I think it would be 65 or 67 grand, something like that. So I would have paid my 65, 67 grand. It's September. Yeah, next month would have been the last payment. 60 some $1,000 they would have right now. And I'm sitting here like, well, why? And now I'd be even more frustrated, because I'd be like, man, I just kept paying you guys, believing what you're saying. And I'd be like, oh man, they haven't even done, and they're changing the plans, right? That too. I mean, it's not what they said so far. They've done two changes. They were going to build 2 Horizon View towers, now 1. The Farallon was going to have a hotel, bungalows over water. No bungalows over water, and now a 9-hole golf course on the Farallon. Valuable space. These clowns go, yeah, 9-hole golf course. When in DR, Dominicans play golf, really? And really, you're going to expect people to bring golf clubs, golf bags, or go golfing when they're staying at Larimar? I don't find that at all logical. At all. Not a 9-hole. 18-hole championship, 200 and, well, they wouldn't listen to me, but okay. 225 acre, 18-hole championship golf course, and bring a few holes so you have that ocean view from the cliff. Now you would have gotten my attention a little more, but no, they don't want to do nothing like that. They want to build a freaking 9-hole golf course on the Farallon. Like, why? I don't get it. That's where the views are. Why would you do this? Instead of the nice little man-made beaches that they were supposed to make. So now they make these little pools, calling them beach clubs. That's not what it was supposed to be. So see, they have to not tear it down, but they have to short changes. So even if they say, Eric, good, look, you only put in whatever it was, you can still buy it. Yeah, sure. I mean, if they allow it, which I doubt, it'd be worth. I don't know what it'd be worth. It could be worth double. We don't know. 4 years from now, the world's going to be a whole different way, and who knows what is going to happen. But it's damn okay. Of the total, oh, he's got the numbers of the total. 5 million travelers arrived by air, up 1.7% year over year. Cruise arrivals also contributed to growth with 1.8 visitors by sea, 3.2%. Yeah, cruise is going to keep going up. Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. This 1.7% year over year. They're up to five. We're up to 5.3. Okay, so just for mathematical purposes, um, this is what I was saying. No growth is not good. I'll use 8.5 million times 1% equals, oh, sorry. 2%. I'll use 2%. That's only 170,000 people over last year. We have 15,000 hotel rooms coming this year. So when you say 170, if they keep on this pace, you have 170,000. That is not good. We're supposed to have another million. Another million. It was supposed to be 9.5 to 10 million. And instead, we're going to be stuck somewhere between 8 million, 8.5 and 9 million. That's what it's looking like. In fact, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be probably 8 point. The way it's going, 8.8, 8.7 to 8.8 is where it's going right now. So that's not enough when you add 15,000. You can't just add, and when you divide it by two, we're at 85,000 for the year. You divide that by 12, that's 8,000 per month. No, 7,000 per month. Divide that by 4 weeks. This is meaningless. 1,750? Seriously? 1,750 couples. When you've added 15,000 hotel rooms on the island and you've added who knows how many Airbnbs. Thousands. So we have an oversupply, and that's going to be a problem. And the way the economy's going in America and Canada, it's going to get worse. So less people from those two nations that allegedly have money is going to be worse. But the hotels, okay, 83, 84%, they'll do good. But anybody doing short-term rentals may have a problem. So I don't mind waiting, which is the other side of this. I don't mind waiting until 2028, 2029 anyhow. Even if I was a buyer, it would be a blessing in disguise at this point. I don't want any delivery like next year or any of this year. Quite frankly, oversaturation. You guys can go look at Airbnb right now and you can see. If we talk about Punta Cana, you see weeks are $400, $350, and not in bad neighborhood. I mean, all over the place, you can find weeks because there's nobody renting. And you can go to airroi.com to go see the real occupancy rates for Airbnbs in any location without paying anything. So nobody can lie now and go, oh, I do 85%, because you can actually see it. Now, somebody does 80%, sure. But that's offset by somebody doing 1%. So again, it matters about locations, amenities, and all that. But the point I'm trying to make is, unless you're in that same neighborhood as the one that has like that 80%, right now, we don't know why it's 85%. But I doubt if that can continue when you have an oversupply of inventory. It's not going to work. That's not how it works compared to the same period last year. Okay, here we go. I missed something. Oh, yeah, compared to the same period last year. Yeah. That's good, because that means I'm going to make a video now. 2 days ago by the Journal. No wonder I didn't see in Dominican today. The Journal, I had the first number of that, but I didn't never had the other one. So that's good. They released it first. EV place, United States remain the leading source market, accounting for 52% of arrivals. Yeah, see, they're at 59%, still around 60. So that's still good. 60% is good, but those numbers have dropped 52% in July. We have the numbers from last year, so I'll check it out to compare. But 60%, we're still good. The number, by the way, 7.2 nights. Some people would say it increased. I say it decreased because it used to be 8.5. That's how long people on average visitors stayed when they came to DR, 8.5 nights. Now it's 7.2. So we lost a whole nother night. Or is it 8 days? But either way, it doesn't matter. We lost a day or a night, which is revenue. Again, all this matters in the overall scheme of things. But this is, I like 60% because that's where we pretty much stay most of the time. America and Canada, 60% to 65%. 59%, okay. A little crack, but not big. But July has always been a great month. And in fact, 863 is a great month. But unfortunately, like he said, we are on track to have the same numbers as last year. We're not far ahead. We need it to be 1 million people more. So anyhow, it does not really matter. That's just my thoughts, my ideas. If anybody has any different, let me know. I think that goes with many projects. Even here in Margaritaville in Orlando, the renderings showed a few things that were supposed to have been built and never did. They built other things instead. Yeah. That's what Cruise on Land's doing. That's what Larimar's doing because they are big events, big places. I don't know about Atlanta. That's going to be built probably or start forming something in the next year. So people will see how that's going to transpire. But the point is, Larimar is not Margaritaville, sadly. They were talking like they were with the way their renderings were and what they were explaining. But then as the days go by, it's like, hold on. After these delays, they effed around and find out that the cost is way more than what it was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So all that BS they were doing, they put themselves in a situation where they have to sell more units. Somewhat like Noval. They got to keep selling units to make sure they have income coming in. Caribbean Journal, check it out. I will. All right. So about the bots, ladies and gentlemen, USA Financial Reckoning is coming. What does anybody know about bots with regard to trading? Anybody? Let us know. Make comments down below and let me know. All right. I already got Stock Mo, so I'm going to go check him out. But I didn't see anything about trading on there that you were saying is live. So I don't know where that is. But I'm pretty sure I'll do options, incomes, wheel strategy. I'll do that also. Maybe I'll learn some more. But I'll keep you guys posted. So again, I love you guys very much. I'm going to run. And thank you so much for your support. And be here on Friday night, please, at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when I will have results of this bot for at least 3 days. So, and I'll tell you what the profit is. First day profit, $304. Buy the bot. All you did was start it, and then you can stop it anytime. Now, the bot had a higher profit margin. But again, because it was new, the wife didn't know what to do, right? I don't know nothing about it. It's her little operation, her little computer. She hit the thing, thought it was closing out. It didn't. So the profit dropped to ultimately close out at 304. Again, if somebody's able to make $200 per day, that's still $6,000 a month. And if it's able to be automated and you don't have to do it yourself and you can make that, that's a win. Making money while you sleep, passive income with little work. Let's see if this really works and what the deal really is, right? So we'll find out. So see me on Friday night. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about if there's a way to get in, because there is. I'm just a little, I don't due to other investments we've tried over the years, it's always been weird whenever we put money into things and then it works and then it doesn't work. It's kind of like I got to check it out further, see what's going on, get hands on even more, deeper than ever, and see how. But they allegedly been in business for 3 years, so alleged. Again, people fudge numbers. Um, just a second, I'm going to do something, and then I'm going to get out of here because I know the name of the bot, but I'm just not going to tell you guys yet because I'm not going to put their name out. Uh, yeah, yeah, okay. We're going to talk about it here in a little bit. So Friday night we'll talk about it, and I might if it keeps going, because then on Monday night potentially we'll have 4 days of trading. So because unless you can do Saturday and Sunday, I don't know. I don't think so because it's only by the market. That's right. So it can't do it until Monday. So anyhow, yeah, then we'll have 4 days. And if things start adding up to where it's consistently within a range and you're actually able to withdraw immediately, do everything, it's in your pockets, that would be significant. Significant. So if somebody's able to be, like I said, whatever number you want, 200 a day, that's in 4 days, $800. Okay, fine. Um, that gives ordinary citizens, OCs, that gives you a way out, especially when you can start with, oh, and it's $1,000 is what she's using for the trading. 1,000, that's it. So there's an entry thing to buy the bot though. And I'm not understanding exactly what the cost is. So that's why I'm not going to tell you what they said it was, but I'm not sure because I was like, okay, that's, all right. But now I'm like, well, is that the normal rate or is this a thing? I don't really know. So we'll talk about it on Monday further and Friday and maybe opportunity knocks. All right. I'm going to out of here. So just make sure no matter what happens, please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen, but that's why opportunities knock in several different locations. You just never know when it comes. Being at the right place, right time, right day, right time, right week, right month, right elevator, right place, walking your dog in the park. You just never know when opportunity comes. You just have to be always looking for it because things, the financials in America are getting out of whack. There's cracks in the system. That means you may be able to take advantage of certain things. You just have to figure out what those certain things are. But stay tuned here. We have a few certain things. Don't worry. We always have solutions for everything. Just keep that in mind. And with all that said, stay safe. Watch your back. Watch your front. Make sure you're in an environment that's safe always because you never know what people are going through. And more important than all, keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm out.